It is M123 FM in the Newberry News, back on our football season preview edition of Sports Chat. Joined now by the head coach of the Engadine Eagles. It is Charlie Fosdick, as we are hanging out on a beautiful day at Frank A. Salzider Field. And Charlie, a lot of excitement around the program this year. You built some momentum last season, had a great off season. Kids seem excited. And just how are things been going as you get ramped up for a brand new year?
Oh, they're going pretty good. We got some new faces, a lot of younger kids again, but we got some new older kids that came out this year. You know, it always seems like you get a senior or a couple of juniors that want to try it out, and so far they're sticking around, so hopefully we keep our numbers up, and they're all pretty excited to get the season underway.
Yep, I know one thing you've really worked on since you took over the high school program is kind of bringing everybody back together. It starts at the youth level where you kind of cut your teeth and developed keeping that program strong in the community. Your numbers down there have been great, I know.
Yep.
Working with the EUP Football League as I do. And then obviously your varsity numbers, not only keeping the guys that went through that tough stretch here and motivated and wanting to come back, but getting new guys to try it out and then stick with the program. And now you're starting to bring back the JV level. And it looks like football is returning to something that kids are looking forward to here in Engadine.
Well, I mean, that's the hope for everybody. You know, if you got a player, you know, that's got friends that want to try it, we invite them to come out, man. I mean, the whole thing about football is to be there with their friends, right? It's the biggest thing when I played. You want to be out there with their friends and have fun. So we just invite, you know, anybody that wants to try it to come out.
It's the one sport really when I cover and I talk to coaches or I talk to players or former players and coaches such as yourself. Football, it really seems like when you join a team, you're going to end up with a family. You're lifelong friends with these guys.
Yep.
You form bonds. You end up at each other's weddings or you know, on family vacations together. And in a small town too, it kind of it brings the community together as well, because it's not just fans and a football team, it's a community and it's a program.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a lot of things going last year and we're trying to continue that this year. Just trying to bring the community together, get more fans here at the games. You know, that also helps with more players, so just trying to get the whole school involved.
Just days away from the kickoff of this 2024 season, but let's go back to this past weekend, because tremendous opportunity for the Eagles football program through the Detroit Lions and the Touchdown in Your Town program that they run. Engadine recognized and honored as part of that program the Detroit Lions and their foundation, making a donation to the program to help with equipment and expenses. And you and the kids got to make the trip down to Ford Field as part of a ceremony for that program, then check out the preseason game. Just talk about Touchdown in Your Town and the partnership with the Lions, what that means for the program and how excited the kids were.
Oh yeah, for sure. First of all, they were really excited. We kept it a secret for the most part. You know, when we got down to Detroit, they're kind of wondering what's going on, but yeah, I mean, it's something they've done since COVID, just helping schools around the state, and we were selected this year, so it's just any funds for, you know, helmets, shoulder pads, training equipment, any of that, just to help any football or high school football programs, stuff like that.
Yeah. You're one of the smallest programs in the state, a low enrollment 8-man football program from the middle of nowhere in the Upper Peninsula, as people would probably think. So for a kid from Engadine, Nobbinway, Trout Lake to make that trip to the big city in Detroit and get to be a part of that experience, that's a life-changing opportunity for those kids.
Oh, for sure. And we had a lot of people asking, well, where's Engadine at? You know, and we're saying the UP, and even some people are like, well, Traverse City, stuff like that, you know.
Way up north.
Way up north, yeah.
Get Rapid River in here this week to open the season. Last year started with them, and I talked to you after that ball game, and you said, you know what, the score wasn't what we wanted it to be, but you saw a lot of good things, and it was just about getting confidence. After an 0-3 start, you guys flipped the switch.
Yeah.
5 straight wins, a forfeit. You end at 6-3, best record in the past 4 or 5 years. years, just shy of getting a playoff position. How did that propel the program coming into this season?
Oh, that was huge. I think that definitely gave everybody confidence. I think it gave other kids confidence to come out and try it. I mean, when you get a couple wins, everybody, you want to be part of that a little bit, right? You don't want to be part if you're just getting your butt kicked every week. So I think that was huge for us to get rolling, and we're just trying to, keep on that same page, keep up the same tempo as we finished with last year. So
trying to carry that momentum in there. What are the expectations? What are the hopes and the things you're focusing on as we come into a new season?
I mean, we got, it's a different team like every year is, but I think we're just right now one game at a time. I always kind of say that we can't look too far ahead. Our main focus right now is Rapid River. It's short week, first week of the season, so we're just really trying to focus on that first, and then we'll go from there.
All right, and you can catch the Eagles follow along all season long with updates in the Newberry News and live video Thursday night of the season opener here against Rapid River. You do not want to miss it. With Charlie Fosdick, head coach of the Engadine Eagles, I'm Dan Hardenbrook. This is Sports Chat with M123 FM and the Newberry News.
People can sleep 12 hours and still not have quality sleep. Maybe an hour or two out of that whole time frame is actual quality sleep.
Bill Alexander, respiratory therapist and supervisor of the cardiopulmonary department at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center, talks about how poor sleep can affect your health.
Not only are pulmonologists ordering sleep studies, but also cardiologists, other people like that, for the reduction of the workload on the heart. It even has been shown to help with people's sugar levels, to help with diabetics. It just creates that rest in the body that we all need.
Scheduling a sleep study at Helen Newberry Joy is as easy as a talk with your primary caregiver.
They can do a referral. We have Dr. Washington, the pulmonologist, certified in sleep, the nurse practitioner, Carol Norman. They will do a consultation. We have a 2-bed lab here. And then you do a follow-up afterwards, go over the results, and then pick the best kind of therapy for you.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
Back on our season football preview edition of Sports Chat. M123 FM in the Newberry News. We're at the Newberry High School football field where the Indians are ready for week number 1. They get Crystal Falls Forest Park in the annual Patriot game Friday night with a 7 o'clock Eastern kickoff. The coach, Zach Clickner, joins us. And the first offseason in the books. The first scrimmage now in the books. Means only one more thing. Let's get game 1 in the books. Coming out of the scrimmage and officially into the season, how do you feel things are sitting with the Indians?
Well, the biggest thing coming out of the scrimmage, Dan, is healthy.
Yep.
Teams get dinged up in that preseason scrimmage, and that's not how you want to start your season. So we came through the scrimmage healthy. A lot of fixable things, which is really what you want to see. You don't want to see a team peaking early. But a lot of fixable things, a lot of things that we're going to fix this week.
I know you told the boys, and you mentioned this in your coaches meeting, when you were talking about mistakes and fixing those mistakes, is you said, that's why we do this. There's a preseason scrimmage for a reason, and having that mentality, you're not going to go into film this week or practice and beat the boys up. You're not going to sit anybody. You're not going to kick anybody off the team or demote them based on their performance in that scrimmage. And on the kids' end of things, it seems like a coachable group, where in practice or a film session, or if you pull a kid aside and give them some tips or coach them up, it seems like they really respond.
Yeah, this is a really, really coachable group, like you said. A lot of multi-sport athletes, and that's where I think a lot of that multi-sport benefits players. They're used to coaching from different styles, different sports, and like you said, it's not something that we got to go in and beat the table about this week. It's something we got to go in, we got to correct, and if it doesn't get corrected this week, well, then we got to start taking a deeper look into things. But you got to give them a chance to fix it.
and they certainly probably will. As we get ready for the season, there's some different approaches, and one of those milestones, the expectation now here is playoffs. But you've hammered, hey fellas, 15 weeks here. You've made plans for your Thanksgiving weekend already, and it involves a trip to Marquette and a little date in the Superior Dome, and the kids have kind of bought into that process. But how do you handle the journey here as you go 1 week at a time? Because I know big picture you're thinking long road, but right now your mind is deep into Crystal Falls Forest Park.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. However, you got to focus on it week by week. We got a great opponent coming to town Friday night. They're a well-coached group, and that's a great program from bottom to top. And I respect the program. I respect them coaches over there. They're going to give us a heck of a game Friday night, and we got to be ready for that before we can look ahead to week 2 through 15.
Do you think the strength of the schedule and the potential of opponents is kind of up the urgency a little bit, where there's a little bit more focus this year, a little bit more commitment, a little bit more determination from these guys? Because you've got 5 playoff teams. You've got, Lake Linden was in the state semifinals last year. Climax Scots has been to a state championship in 8-man. Pickford's been to a state championship in 8-man. We know Norway is loaded, coming off a great season. We've always said this is like the SEC or the Big Ten of the high school 8-man football. But are you guys prepared, do you think, mentally and physically for that journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think... And you said 5 playoff teams. I think we got 9 playoff teams on our schedule this year. We have a great schedule, and competition will bring out the best in your team. And if we can run that gauntlet, then we're prepared for anything, I think, because we got, like I said, a lot of great opponents on the schedule this year. Are we ready for them? I think so. The kids have worked hard all year. The coaches have put a lot of time in. Preparation, making sure nothing little comes up, and I think the focus is where it needs to be.
What are you looking at this week as you get ready for Crystal Falls in week 1? The biggest things you've got to do this week to get your guys ready for, as you said, a very tough and good opponent coming in on Friday night?
Well, we got to stay healthy this week. I thought our physicality was absolutely phenomenal in our scrimmage. For not seeing wrong colored jersey, for not going live against anybody, I thought we were great physically. Like I said, we got to clean a few little things up. Maybe coming off on a linebacker a little sooner, just little stuff like that. And then we got to keep the boys even keel. We can't get too high this week. We can't get too low this week. We know we got a good opponent coming to town, and we got to reiterate that every single day.
Coming out Friday night, the quarterback club will have their tailgate festivities, a little cornhole tournament getting underway at 4 o'clock leading up to kickoff, 7 o'clock, and we'll have it live on 123 FM and the UP Sports Network. And then you can, of course, follow the Indians all season long with updates and information in each week's edition of the Newberry News. With Zach Clickner, head coach of the Newberry Indians, I'm Dan Hardenbrook. This is your football season preview edition of Sports Chat.